Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28.
Republicans are all but admitting. They're admitting it in the Republican way where they talk shifty and move around and try to obfuscate what their actual intent is. But they're all but admitting right now that they're going to interfere not only in the 2026 midterms, but in the 2028 presidential election. I got two clips for you here. Donald Trump saying that we can never let happen what happened in 2020. We can't let that happen again, which means him losing an election. Joe Biden won a free, fair, settled American election by over 7 million votes, and Donald Trump dispatched a violent white supremacist mob to the Capitol to try to insurrect the Capitol, to try to overturn a free and fair election, to try to reinsert him extra-constitutionally, illegally, anti-democratically back into office. And that's exactly what they're planning for Donald Trump. I have contended, I don't think Donald Trump's long for this world. I think he's going to be dead within 12 or so months. I don't think he's going to see the end of this term. You can't have gravy and Big Mac sauce coursing through your veins and live to see your 81st or 82nd year. It seems self-evident to me. But not only is Steve Bannon calling for, admitting that there is a conspiracy underfoot to have Donald Trump have a third term, Donald Trump is talking coded about it as well. Let's start with Donald Trump, then we'll move on to an interview that Steve Bannon just did, where he said some radical and troubling things.
Or really, I think it's got to be handled in a proper way. If it's not handled in a proper way, we don't want it to happen again. We can never let what happened in the 2020 election happen again. We just can't let that happen. And so the way we go, I know Kash is working on it, everybody's working on it, and certainly Tulsi's working on it. We can't let that happen again to our country. Look at what's happened where you have millions of people being allowed to come into our country, all because of a crooked election, where they come from prisons, they come from jails, they come from mental institutions and insane asylums. They're drug dealers, the people that they've allowed to come into our country.
All these people are working on it because we can't allow another election where Donald Trump loses. Kash Patel is working on it. The director of the FBI is ensuring that Donald Trump doesn't lose another election, that Republicans don't lose another election. Everybody else is working on it, he says. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, is working on a plot, a conspiracy. These are stark words from an American president. And it gets even worse when outsiders like Steve Bannon, who don't have a role in government, are also at the tip of the spear plotting a conspiracy. They have co-conspirators working all throughout, from the Heritage Foundation on through into the government, talking about the plot to keep Donald Trump in office, to have him violate the Constitution, the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution, to keep him in office for a third term. Watch this.
Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. And the way we finish it through Trump. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will. And you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
You're not driving me crazy. I'm trying to understand the coherence of the things you've just told me in the last few minutes. On the one hand, you've said the Constitution is fit for purpose. Secondly, you've said that President Trump needs another term, even though the 22nd Amendment makes pretty clear that he cannot have another term.
Why does it make that clear?
Because he's on his second term already.
At some point in time, we will make sure we go through, Zanny, and define all those terms.
But even if
We
you
will
find
define
a
all
way
those terms.
to undermine you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it. And to those
Can the
people who
American
can,
people, if the American people, with the mechanisms that we have, put Trump back in office, are the American people tearing up the Constitution? Would that be tearing up?
Well,
Would the American people be going against the spirit of the Constitution, ma'am?
I think yes, actually, because I think what you will end up with
you're
is
saying the
a
American people-
populist justification for a quasi-dictatorship.
That's not true at all. Trump
That's
works,
what it sounds like.
It's not. Trump is a dictatorship. Did you just see the compromises he had to make on the big beautiful bill? You see the compromises he has to do on everything, on accommodating Zelensky, on what President Trump. President Trump is nothing but a series of negotiations to kind of keep this thing rolling forward, where he's having trade-offs all the time.
But Steve, you've just spent the last 20 minutes telling me we have to smash the other side. There's no room for debate. There's no room for compromise. We must smash them. And now you're telling me this is a negotiation. I mean, that's
no.
I guess that's why
on his
it seems to me some
his
kind
policy.
of tension
First
there.
off, the only way President Trump wins in 2028 and continues to stay in office is by the will of the American people. Okay? And the will of the American people is what the Constitution embodies. And so I think we're going to be in good hands there. We need to finish what we started. And President Trump is the instrument, a providential instrument to finish this job.
One, let me say this. This isn't against the spirit of the Constitution. This is against the letter of the law. This is a fundamental violation of the 22nd Amendment. This is against the spirit of the Republicans who break out their pocket constitutions and act like it's a venerable document that they love, that they've sworn oath to. Where are Rand Paul and Ted Cruz and Mike Lee, the libertarian element of the Republican Party, the constitutionalists, the originalists? Where are they? All of these people have raised their right hand, Steve Bannon included, by the way, he was a naval officer, have raised their right hand and sworn oath, a solemn vow to the Constitution of the United States. And where are they? They are here for it. They are plotting. It is a conspiracy to violate the Constitution. And all of this signaling that Steve Bannon is doing about Donald Trump being a vehicle of divine providence, an instrument of divine will. They're painting this in their white Christian nationalist manner to act as though God himself has chosen Donald Trump to be president of the United States for a third term, in contrary to the rules set forth in the Constitution. But when he says, and this is the most dangerous thing he said, at the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there is a plan. He said that. This is a conspiracy against the nation, against democratic will, against the Constitution, all so that the further goals of the Heritage Foundation and the ghouls who wrote Project 2025 can see the structural realignment of our country, realigning it to their white Christian nationalist goals. Very dangerous. Anyway, I'd love your thoughts. You can comment below. Let's have a conversation in the comments below this video, whether that be on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like and follow the Dollemore Daily Facebook page and subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to get to 1.5 million subscribers by the end of the year. And I know that we can do it, but only with your help. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another. The holidays are once again upon us, and with them, seasonal task lists. As a business owner, you might be thinking about how to handle design and marketing for holiday products that you intend to sell, or who you might have to hire to staff up for the busy shopping season, or how to find the right people to jump from the shadows in that terrifying haunted house that you've built. Whether you're hiring for one of these roles or any other role, the best way to find your perfect match for your role is on ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Dollemore. With ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database, you can instantly unlock top candidates' info with over 320,000 new resumes every month. Your options are enormous. You can find out right away how many job seekers are qualified for your job in your area. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. Don't let holiday hiring be your boogeyman. Let ZipRecruiter find the right people for your role, seasonal or otherwise. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Dollemore. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Dollemore. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.